Diddy just got sent to 4 years in prison, and it does not look like Young Miami is handling this well. After bragging for years about how she and Diddy went together real bad, and how she was never going to get off him, it's not surprising that fans are saying that she has been secretly spiraling. But hold up, because there are new reports that she isn't spiraling just because she misses her buang. Word on the streets is that the real reason she's crashing out is that she's supposedly broke and needs Diddy to pay her bills. Yeah, this is a hot mess. But does this mean that she's going to finally switch up on Diddy like people have been predicting? Let's get into it. Okay, so one thing about Young Miami is that she rode for Diddy, and she rode for him hard. Whether she did it out of love or for money is up for debate, but she rode for him hard. I know y'all remember the Go Poppy moment, and from the looks of things, the relationship was mutually beneficial because Diddy did do a lot for her. He paid her bills and even gave her her own podcast on Revolt TV called Croatia Please. She got so comfortable with Diddy that she decided to retire from rapping. She tweeted, "I don't even rap no more. I retired, y'all." She would often talk about how she and Diddy were for life. And in an interview, she even hinted that she was going to marry him. She said, "People don't know us. They don't know what the F we got going on. I'm in there like, shut the F up. Y'all don't know what we have going on. Me and him going to be married." Boom. No, I'm just saying. At the time, we didn't know any of the things that Diddy was doing behind closed doors. So, we thought that they were just two people who liked each other and enjoyed each other's company. So imagine how shook we were when Diddy was not only exposed, but Young Miami was dragged into the drama. It got worse with Lil Rod's lawsuit, where he claimed that she was allegedly transporting substances for Diddy. You know, if Diddy wanted some Tusi, he knew who to call. According to the court documents, plaintiff and the Combs RICO enterprise were rehearsing for something in the West Ole in Virginia. The court filing reads, Plaintiff Jones personally witnessed Mr. Combs do a few lines of nose candy in his dressing room. Defendant Sean Combs wanted Tusi, but Brendan forgot it, so defendant Christina Carorm called Young Miami, who then brought it on the private jet from Miami. The document went on to say that Young Miami Jade and Daphne Joy were paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs' workers and received payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill, which outlined defendants' ongoing criminal operation. The lawsuits kept coming, and before long there were rumors that Miami was getting ready to jump ship and abandon Diddy. According to the rumors, this was because Diddy could no longer afford to pay her bills because he was spending a lot of money fighting both the civil case and the federal case. I mean, he paid Cassie $30 million. So, it was not surprising that he didn't exactly have enough money to throw around. But multiple sources claimed that Young Miami was not exactly understanding and was slowly pulling away from Diddy. According to a source, Diddy is no longer paying Young Miami's bills. The friend told us that Diddy had been paying for private flights, shopping sprees, and rent for a luxury Miami penthouse. Now Diddy has cut those expenses. Diddy still bought Young Miami a Christmas gift, but he's not as generous as he once was. The insider also said that Diddy still wants to be friends with Miami, but she is not interested in mingling without the cash. The insider said Diddy is not in a good place mentally either. He can really use someone like Croatia in his life. She really does care about him, not just his money, but the money is important. Yes. So, he has to start paying again if he wants her companionship. And at this point it was like Young Miami started reading the writing on the wall and figured out that the money would dry up soon. The next thing we knew, she hit the studio and came out of retirement. She also announced a new era that she called the Yams era, where she was going to be focusing on herself. But unfortunately, that didn't hit as well as she hoped. It also didn't help that she was also sued by a woman who claimed that not only did Miami allegedly know what Diddy was doing, but she also allegedly took part in his shenanigans. Fans kind of clocked this when she threatened to make Diddy force Gina into a freak-off. But the lawsuit was worse than that. The victim filed under the pseudonym Jane Doe, and she claimed that Miami allegedly freaked out when Jane Doe got pregnant with Diddy's baby. Miami allegedly freaked out so much that she allegedly bullied Jane Doe until she lost the baby. According to the court documents, in July of 2022, Jane Doe traveled at defendant Combs' command to his home in Los Angeles. While in defendant Combs' bathroom, Jane Doe was compelled to ingest an unknown substance. Jane Doe later learned it was or contained the ketamine and/or other substances, which caused Jane Doe to black out and lose consciousness intermittently throughout the night. Jane Doe did not consent to ingesting ketamine and/or other substances. She said that after losing consciousness from the substances, she woke up covered in bruit made her realize something terrible had happened to her during that time. She wrote Combs would make her perform a show for him, and would ply her with alcohol and substances until she passed out. It went on. She would wake up with bruising and injuries, but with no recollection of how she sustained her injuries. This continued until July of 2024. The victim went on to claim that she eventually got pregnant with Diddy's baby, which caused Young Miami to allegedly bully her until she had a miscarriage. The document said, shortly thereafter, Jane Doe took a pregnancy test which was positive. The lawsuit against Diddy continues. Jane Doe informed defendant Combs of the positive test. Kershaw Brownlee, defendant Combs' associate, Jane Doe by repeatedly calling her and telling Jane Doe to have a termination. Jane Doe suffered a miscarriage and did not speak to defendant Combs or his team for approximately 3 months. So whether Young Miami liked it or not, she was very much still tied to Diddy. And while she tried to distance herself from him publicly, she wrote a letter to the judge asking for leniency. This kind of proved that she was still very much hopeful that they would resume their relationship if Diddy got out on time served and didn't have to serve any time behind bars. A blind item kind of confirmed this, saying, "The youthful city celebrity must really want her old job back the way she is kissing the producer wannabe rappers." But in letters to the court. In the letter she wrote, she said, "I do not condone any wrongdoing. I can only speak from my personal experience and the man I've come to know over the past 4 years. For 3 of those years I was in a public relationship with Sean. And during that time, I witnessed and came to know a different person than the one often portrayed behind the scenes. He was loving, genuine, supportive, and always encouraging. Sean has always made it a priority to open doors for Black people, to make sure we are seen, heard, and valued in spaces where we've historically been excluded," she continued. "Beyond all of that, I've seen him give back to his community over and over again. I've also witnessed him doing real inner work. He made the choice to check himself into anger management, start therapy, and commit to physical healing through therapy. In my personal experience, Sean is not a danger or a threat to the community. He is a man of God. Someone who uplifts, supports, and inspires those around him to be better mentally, physically, and spiritually. Judge, that's a good man." A girl, she pretty much said he's a good man, Savannah. A good man. He's just in a bad situation right now, and he's trying to get out of it. Anywho, the judge ended up sentencing Diddy to 50 months in prison. So, with time served, he should be out in about 2.5 years. So, unfortunately, this means that the bank of Diddy is closed until further notice. And y'all, fans are convinced that Young Miami has secretly been crashing out because it means that she now has to fend for herself and pay her own bills. This explains why she is once again teasing new music. Oh, and don't even get me started on how she has been trying to launch a Twitch career, but unfortunately that hasn't been going well either because she hasn't been having a lot of viewers. Ain't nobody on there. Now he got 27 followers. It's a hard time to be Young Miami, but I want to know how y'all feel about her boo thing and sugar daddy being sent to prison. Drop your thoughts in the comments, then check out this next video.